It's the news are live on TWH Trends, sponsored by TBP Professional Institute. I'm Obidumbie Ama Achure. Coming up today, President Mahama urges African leaders to fight corruption and foster economic growth. ECG transformers vandalized by thieves in Bogoso. Now the news in detail. President John Dramani Mahama has called on African leaders to intensify efforts in the fight against corruption, emphasizing that it deprives nations of crucial resources needed for development. Addressing the presidential session of the Africa Prosperity Dialogues 2025 in Accra, President Mahama stressed the need for urgent action, stating that economic growth cannot be achieved in the environment of conflict and insecurity. President Mahama encouraged African nations to break down barriers to unity and economic integration, emphasizing the need for a strong, self-reliant, and globally competitive continent. He further urged leaders to translate discussions into tangible outcomes rather than mere resolutions. Quoting Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he reminded the audience of the intrinsic unity among African nations. The forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keeps us apart, he said. He called on African leaders to harness these unifying forces and chart a new path for economic transformation. Commending the Africa Prosperity Network for successfully organizing the dialogues, he reaffirmed Ghana's commitment to hosting and supporting future editions. In other news, some unidentified individuals have vandalized 3 Electricity Company of Ghana transformers in Bogoso, Western Region. Reports available to the Ghana News Agency indicate that 2 of the affected transformers, a 50 kVA and a 200 kVA, were part of the circuit serving the community water supply at Bipo Bridge and several bungalows at Anglong Kwanta. The other affected transformer, a dedicated 100 kVA unit at Samahu, was not part of the circuit. The Western Regional Public Relations Officer of ECG, Awao Boy, stated that the incident had been reported to the police and that investigations were underway. He advised the public to be vigilant and report any unusual activity around ECG installations. To end the news, a recap of the headline. President Mahama urges African leaders to fight corruption and foster economic growth. ECG transformers vandalized by thieves in Bogoso. The news was sponsored by TBP Professional Institute. I'm Obidumbie Ama Achure. Stay tuned for more news updates.